stuffy. You'll hear more from him later. Right, Ryan, can you give us a little 3-minute blast and just as a taster for later? So give it up for Ryan Van Winkle.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, formal introductions. I'm Ryan Van Winkle. Let's see, is that mic okay? What was I going to tell you? I like the notion of an introduction. It lets them know that next time they hear my name, they might want to go outside with a very long cigarette, or perhaps hide in the bog like they're avoiding a train fare. That's fine. I also should take 1 second and just apologize for using this incredibly ostentatious machine. I've realized that people are slightly distracted by it sometimes. Please don't be. Yeah. I find it easier and cheaper than buying printer ink. So this poem is called a raincoat, spelled rain to go. Just so you get your heads in the right space. I'm not sure it makes any sense, but I really enjoy reading it. And if there is any sense to it, the poem, it might be in the last couple lines, so try to perk yourself up near the end. This is called A Raincoat, a spelled rain ago. An incompleteness ago, my fingers and turpentine nails, laser hairs standing cold. The market of twilight, horse left on the monument, 6 legs, one raised as a rifle, his man like an apple in a barn. Red on red on red on red, an incompleteness ago, the earth and a terracotta cup, the earth a finger of whiskey, the earth a freezer of corn. An incompleteness ago, a mint melting in the bath, a mint in pubic hairs and fingered dust, a mint of dimes, pennies, nickels. A quarter, a quarter, a quarter, call it an incompleteness ago. When the foundations opened, the words were all magnets. An incompleteness ago, a baby almost ate a banana. Small spoons, small spoons, small incompleteness ago. The sinks are still buildings, the counter a revolution, the gorillas in the kitchen, the coal train an incomplete, the bruised boy an incomplete, the candy shop an incomplete, the tractor trails an incomplete. No incompleteness ago. No grief ago, no moons ago, no alone ago, no tires ago, no buzzard pond ago, no dream ago, no Freud ago, no pickled vans ago, no cherry ago, no pits, no canyons, no shaved rocks of ice from an incompleteness ago. No red, no red, no red, no water for boil, no bottle for punch, no gum, no shoe detective for my life, no narrative, no born, lived, then died, no tomb, no ash, no clay, no bones, no dice, no smoke, no fire, no ants on the way to mango, no incompleteness, no raincoat for the ra-ta-ta. A raincoat ago, a dog ago, a hat ago, a love ago, a week ago, there was only no gas, no trucks, only tunnels, only pavement, no food, only smell, no song in my voice, no voice. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. We'll be hearing more from him later. Whoa. Right. And Robin Cairns, you ready to give us your 3 minutes of appetite whetting? So can you give it up for Robin Cairns?
Thank you. I feel like the drummer from ZZ Top here. All these bearded poets. Whose name, of course, was? Frank Beard, yes. The one without the beard. Music, your favourite sort of music? Did you like ZZ Top? Do you remember? You're a bit young. Do you know who they are?
I'm a bit young, yeah.
Okay, right. What's your sort of music?
I know the lads with the beard.
What's your sort of music?
Douchebag music, like
Douchebag music. I love that myself. What is it?
It's like singer-songwriter guitar sort of stuff.
Douchebag music. Is that what's called these days? Singer-songwriters without douchebags. To think I would have lived so long. And yourself, Rapunzel, what sort of music do you like?
Gabba.
What gabba gabba hey?
No, I was saying boom, 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 boom.
Alright, okay. I like gabba gabba hey, which of course was Ramones music. Yeah. Yourselves at the back, what sort of music do you like? Everything, yeah. And yourself, Ryan, you? What's your sort of music?
Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen, fine music. Everybody, it's great to hear people talking about the various forms of fine music that they like, and many people define themselves by the sort of music that they like. But this leaves out one very important grouping in society. This leaves out people who like music that is shite. And this is for them. There was an old lady who swallowed McFly. I'll tell you why she swallowed McFly. To make them die. She swallowed McFly and the Backstreet Boys to stop all the dancing and horrible noise. But they capered and sang in the coils of her gut and lip-synced their pop-drake cliches and smut. There was an old lady who swallowed Take That to beat up McFly with a baseball bat. But they stopped for a chat about how it was clever and smart and funny, getting rich from little girls' pocket money. She woofed out Blue for the laxative fibre to expel all these boy bands out of her Bible. But they set up a stage in her intestinal tract and practiced their cheesy crotch-grabbing act. There was an old lady, Eddie 17, wee Brian Harvey turned her green. But she washed him down with some syrup of figs, with a bastard set up a series of gigs. The noise coming out of the old lady's belly was like something off Saturday morning telly. Robbie Williams was once by an old lady gobbled. It's true. Lulu. It's in her autobiography. Page 277 if anyone wants to look it up. I checked his autobiography. He fails to mention it. She said, take out my teeth and relight my fire. Tug up my ears and my tits will go higher. There was an old lady who swallowed James Blunt. Do you know this one? Oh, do it with me then. There was an old lady who swallowed James Blunt, because Westlife gave her an itchy sarcophagus. She went back in time and ingested Wham. For that I sincerely thank you, ma'am. They made me boke, but a tickly hair bit stuck in her gullet. Fred George's pelt and his mullet. Perhaps she'd croak if it wasn't dislodged by S Club 7. There'd be famous feces in the sewers of heaven. Then who should walk by but Ronan Keating? He said, dear me old lady, oh, what have you been eating? Because he's Welsh, isn't he? He thumped her back to loosen her craw. When she spewed at his pals, he called the law. There was an old lady who got to jail for ingesting musicians' underage mail. That's the end of my tale.
There you go, that was Robin Cairns. You'll be hearing more of him as well later. Were those nice tasters? Did you enjoy that? Does it make you want to hang around or yes, or go home? Well, one of them, no, they'll be. So they'll all be back at some point in the evening, so watch out for that. Right, okay, the group poem is going around, which is great, and now we're going to have our other act, who is not part of the Hello Poetry. We booked him beforehand, so coming up from the Central Belt, so we've got a whole host of people from the Central Belt, so can you give it up for Andrew Ferguson?
Thank you. Yes, you have many fine poets tonight, so I'm not going to try and compete with them, but I'm going to do one poem just to warm up. And then it's all stories. This is called Scotland Has an Xbox Game. You start on a dark screen, a void, no enlightenment for several levels. groping towards a white X dimly seen with no sense of yourself. Kill the English knight with your bare hands and your Wallace. Green fields and rivers of blood unroll in front of you. Eventually, if you make it through the hack and slash, you're into the strategy game. The silicon chip on both shoulders making you seem bigger than you are to your enemies at court. Before you know it, you're making unlikely alliances on the multiplayer function, sacrificing queens and credibility points to get to London. The next levels are disappointing. The Enlightenment flares past like a firework, then endless foreign wars, grim landscapes, games of football played in rain. It looks like analog interference. Your dubious weapons of bitterness and working class authenticity only useful against Scottish opponents. In the end, you have to re-terraform. But your parliament's permanently over budget and you can never stick enough wind farms in the North Sea to stop your populace moaning. It may just be me, but there seems to be an inbuilt advantage in using American English. Sorry, Ryan, no offence. No one has made it yet to the next level. So I was going to just do funny stuff, but then my colleague and confederate and co-conspirator Gavin Ingalls, who was here at a previous one, said, "Oh, you have to do a serious one as well." So this is called Sweetmeat. And I should explain when I turn the page. I shouldn't have to explain this, but it's mimicking a school of Argentinian writers called Punta de Vista, who changed their point of view halfway through the story. It's meant to be really subtly done. So I do it really subtly by turning the page. So watch out for that little signal. Sweetmeat. It's not as grand as the embassy event last week, but it's more exclusive. You're explaining the theme behind your new collection when you arrive, chewing coca leaf like you've just come from the fields, and it all starts to unravel. "Hey, Enrique," he shouts, "sweetmeat!" He's pushing through the crowd, aesthetes falling back from his elbows until he's there, in your inner circle, chewing, grinning. "This is Rufino," you say, glancing at the taller of the two girls who were playing violin earlier. She's smiling, but she's glancing from him to you, sizing things up. "Rufy, Rufy, Rufy," he says, too loudly, pushing his face towards him in that way of his, like a dog barking, like a little dark-skinned mongrel. "Paco," your government lawyer friend says, inclining his head, but no, Rufy's got to grab his hand, pumping up and down like some Yankee, chewing away on his coca leaf. He even has a pouch of it on his belt. "Rufy and I grew up together," you say, hoping somehow that would explain things. Everyone nods, but everyone's still looking at him like he's some sort of exhibit, some sort of proof of something. "That was up in the northeast then," Paco starts to say, but Rufy interrupts him. Rufy obviously feels he's got to take charge, as always. "Yes, the northeast, the northeast. We go back a long ways, Ricky and I. A long ways," he repeats, laying a finger alongside his nose. "Of course, I've been in the city for 10 years now," you tell the violin girls. "And your quartet, when do you..." "Yes, 10 years, Rufy says, and your heart sinks. He called you up out of the blue. Hadn't spoken to you since you were home last Easter. He just happened to be in town, he said, and you, your stupid pride, made you tell him where you'd be tonight, with all the pale-skinned Castilian bloods. You're taller than him, less dark. You could be their mascota, their pet indigenous poet. But him? Yes, 10 years ago, after those girls disappeared in the jungle beyond our village. Don't you remember, sweetmeat? And your inner circle are looking from him to you, and there are frowns on high cheekbone faces until you say, "Of course the two events aren't related." And everyone laughs nervously, except Rufy, the little dark mongrel, and he's slugging back the free wine, and you realise he's actually stinking drunk. He's found his way here via the Avenida bars. Then Paco, catching the coattail of the laughter, says, "Sweetmeat?" Rufy pulls the wine glass off his mouth and leans towards Paco. Oh yes, he tells the government lawyer. That's my name for Rique. Well, hombre, you know, he says to Paco, man to man, ignoring the violin girls and the others. That's what he used to say, you know. Those little indigenous ones, their meat is sweet. You see your friend's mouth working, but no words are coming out because there are no words he can use to explain himself now. Now that's out there stinking up his inner circle. And you know you shouldn't have come here. Shouldn't have taken that long, sweaty train ride down to this rotten city with its corrupt politicians and its artistic evenings. Shouldn't have tracked him down, pretending to his mother you were still friends. Shouldn't have had a drink in every bar in the Avenida before he got here. Your friend's mouth is still working and there might be sound coming out, but there's a rushing in your ears. And everyone's looking from him to you, to him again, and then over their shoulders, the two tall girls whispering to each other. And you look away, disgusted by them, disgusted by yourself. But you know there's a reason why you drink too much and take everything else you can lay your hands on with a nod and a wink from the boys at the back door of the factory hidden up in the hills. There's a reason why you came here. Because it was him that made you do it. It was his idea about those girls, the one that did it first, then insisted you did too. Then got scared and made you cover it all up, make it go away. But some things will never go away, you think, as you stumble out, ignoring the man tugging at your arm, his new friend, the one called Paco. Thank you. Slight change of mood. By the way, it's great to be in Aberdeen. My family come from Aberdeen, so I kind of know the place, but I haven't been for years. And a funny thing happened to me on the way to the gig, literally, on the way to the gig. Me and my mate were walking from the car park, and there was this big husky thing.
I saw that husky.
Did you?
Husky, yeah.
I hope he's ducked. This fucking huge. And there's a big guy, with a big husky. This is my big dog, because I'm a big guy. And so huskies have, dropping at this massive log. And we're just walking past it. It's like none of our business. It's fine. Sure, he's got a bag there to pick it up. And it drops the log. And then does he not start screaming? We're having a duck. It's like this dog shit flying everywhere. And the dog just turns and looks at me and says, "Welcome to Aberdeen." Shite. Anyway, this is kind of a jukebox moment here. You can have one of two stories. One is my homage to the great Dame Muriel Spark and the prime of Miss Jean Brodie. It's called The Slime of Miss Jean Brodie. Or the other one's kind of a mashup of Balamori and The Wicker Man. So hands up for Jean Brodie. That's good. Hands up for Wicker Man and... Alright, okay. That's fairly conclusive. Okay, this is called To the Devil and Asbel. "What's the story, Sergeant?" the woman said. Her hair was cut in a kind of bob and she wore a knitted jersey with needle-thin horizontal stripes. She smiled at him, an expression that made him even more uncomfortable. "Why are you here?" Sergeant Howie smoothed his uniform, rumpled by the clamber up the ladder at the quayside. "I think you know well enough, madam. This town has a dubious reputation. The colours you've had the buildings painted are a breach of the listed buildings legislation for a start. But it makes things so much brighter," the woman said. "There are several reports of Calmac ferries refusing to dock. The captains are so terrified of the locals." "Oh, nonsense, they're only fairies. And the local officer hasn't called in to his superiors on the mainland for several weeks." "Plum?" The woman's eyes narrowed for a moment. "Oh, I'm sure he's just been busy." Much later, Howie returned to Miss Hooley's house, his nerves on edge. In pocket and sweets, all conversation had stopped when he walked in. The man who lived in the Pink Castle claimed to be an inventor, but was now styling himself Lord Summerisle. There's still no sign of Plum. All that night, Cooley cavorted outside his All that night, Cooley cavorted outside his room, singing her siren song. "Come to me," she trilled. I've taken off my jumper. He fell to his knees behind the locked door with a sob, trying to recite the relevant sections of the Antisocial Behaviour Scotland Act without picturing her naked flesh sliding along the anaglypta outside. In the morning, he began fixing the statutory notices to the doors. A closure notice in terms of Section 26. In terms of Section 27, you are hereby served with notice of the Chief Constable's intention to make application for a closure order to these premises under Section 28. There seemed to be no one there. It was a Sunday, of course, so it might be that everyone was at church. Somehow, he didn't think so. An awful reality seemed to be lurking at the corners of his vision, a foreknowledge of what was going to happen. It was as if it had all happened before, on a different island. And this was some sort of horrible sequel, unrolling like a celluloid truth before him. When they grabbed him outside the Macready bus garage, he realised too late that making love to Miss Hooley had been his only chance. The wicker structure caught all too easily, and soon the squeals of the animals sacrificed with him and the roar of the flames made anything he could say inaudible. Still, he tried. By the powers invested in me by the Antisocial Behaviour Scotland Act 2004, sections 19, 26 and 44, I hereby give you no... The platform below him was catching now, the smoke stinging his eyes and making him cough. He could barely see the villagers now, gathered below him. Plum, of course, was in the front row, although not in uniform. They were singing a hymn to their pagan god, the strange Celtic words twisting this way and that in the backdraft from the fire. You can join in if you like. Thank you.
There you go. What a twisted imagination to put Ballabori and the Wicker Man together. There we go. That's Andrew Ferguson, and yes, thank you for that. We'll have more of him later as well. Right, we're going to have a bit of a break now.